All right, man. We're live. We are live on the post-game show.
Great.
I don't think anybody's watching yet.
No.
Not yet. One watching. Somebody logged in. Somebody was waiting. I bet it was Brendan time.
Malloy or Schlanger, one or the other.
Could be.
Could be a foreman, but I doubt it.
Welcome, guys. Casey, we have a problem. We're missing a glass.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where's your glass?
Yeah, we only have one glass. You can find one right there in the bar. Turn right. There you go. All right, guys. While Casey's doing that, let me set the stage. Welcome to the post-game show again, the Meltdown show. Aggies win. Aggies win 20-7 over LSU.
Which means we don't need this.
That's right. We don't. We have a
fresh bottle of Lagavulin 16.
Show the people what we got. And while we're doing that, let's get set up a little better. People can actually see what's going on here.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Victory Scotch.
Victory Scotch. It's about the only good thing we can say about tonight.
Ooh. Well, let's just jump right into it.
Jump right into it, man.
The Aggies pick up their 6th win of the season, sir.
Yep.
2 an Aggie victory.
2 an Aggie victory. Actually, hold on.
I'm hoping we got some decent audio here. Probably need some feedback over there.
Oh,
because I'm not hearing it.
So wait a minute.
What am I hearing?
Well, there was a backdoor cover tonight with a garbage touchdown at the end. So that means a 13-point margin of victory. I predicted 18. You predicted 8?
Yes.
So is it a wash?
Oh, I think it's a wash.
It's a push. I don't care because I don't have to wear the shirt. Shane.
You're not wearing the shirt. Nobody's wearing the shirt.
Nobody's wearing the shirt.
Push.
Although that's kind of disappointing. I think the shirt should get to participate in the show at least, even if not being worn. The McConaughey finally, though I didn't win a bet, I have at least not lost a shirt of shame bet.
Okay.
So I'm going to say baby steps, and maybe next week you'll be in it.
Well, maybe we'll see. I mean, I'm
also got a little victory boot in over here, so if you see me reaching and eating,
that's going to be great. I'm going to try some of that later.
Yeah.
So let me set the stage here, okay? And then we're going to jump into the thoughts on the game. Thank you, guys. I see a couple of folks actually posting, and Casey, you're going to need to
I need a link to tweet out.
I know. I'm getting there. But while we're doing that, I'm going to set the stage. Coming into this week, folks, LSU coming in, and that sends up all kinds of red flags, all right, for us. First of all, A&M been sitting at home for 3 weeks now, not playing football.
Mm-hmm.
The last time we saw these guys, South Carolina, totally dominating performance. We were looking forward to the next game, and then all of a sudden they have to sit. And so that was concern number 1, okay? Time off. Concern number 2 was this is LSU. And it doesn't matter how bad LSU is, and they've been bad.
They've been bad.
Okay? They did win last week against Arkansas, but they've been bad. They've been giving up a lot of points. But the reason there's concern is because this is evolving into kind of a nasty rivalry game. It's at the end of a traditional year, and LSU, always gets up for this game. A&M does, and they have athletes, and we were concerned about that.
Tons of athletes, no matter what.
And then the third thing was that it was going to rain like hell.
Yep.
It was going to be a torrential downpour or a lot of water, a wet field, a wet ball. And all of that added up to expect craziness. And with that, all of those things in play, did we get what we expected in this game?
Yes, I think all of those things you just talked about factored heavily into this game. So, yes, absolutely. A nasty game. I don't even want to do this show. I'm so pissed off about the game, to be honest. Like, it was very frustrating to watch. As much as we may have expected it,
yeah,
you still hope for better.
I agree.
But jumping right in, if the Foreman brothers are watching, because they were complaining about it on Facebook, I think you mentioned the athletes that LSU has and the ability to do what nobody in the SEC does as well as LSU, and that's play press man.
Yep.
And really force your receivers to win one-on-one, and they can still do that. They've still got the athletes to do that. And one, we don't really have the receivers that are good at winning one-on-one, those types of battles yet. Two, wet ball. Three, rust, like we've talked about. All of those things really conspired to make it a very ugly night on offense. And so, and I'm laughing because my buddy Nick was complaining about that early in the game on Facebook, and, you know, kind of rightfully so, almost pointing out, hey, that's the formula for beating A&M. And yes and no, because the reason other teams haven't been able, or haven't tried that is because they can't, because they don't have the athletes at corner to do it.
I would say they've tried to some degree.
To some degree, and it hasn't gone very well for them. I would say the other way you beat that, though, if you don't have receivers that are just excellent at out-physicaling those big corners that LSU has one-on-one on the outside, is you need a quarterback to take off when all those defensive backs turn their back. And that's kind of something we've been complaining about really for Mon's entire career. And it just doesn't seem like it's ever going to happen. I think he's kind of been coached out of that.
Yeah.
Like he's been hammered into him so much to be a quarterback. I almost see that as kind of a failing of our coaching staff to not look at what's going on in the game and say, hey, hold on. Our receivers can't win on the outside. They're going to play press man all night, no matter what we do. When they turn their backs, go get 6, 7, 8 yards, because it's going to be there almost every time until they get out of it.
Yep.
So those are the only two ways you're going to get them out of it.
Right. And
if you can't do one, like stop, think, and be like, let's try the other in the middle of the game. But that just doesn't seem like Jimbo's style. And Jimbo's not alone in that in the coaching world either.
Yeah, my takeaway from this game was, and really both of these football teams throughout the season, is these are two very stubborn football teams and stubborn head coaches in a lot of ways. And we've seen that play out with LSU. You know, they lost to Mississippi State at the beginning of the year in spectacular fashion because they refused to get out of press man. And Mississippi State's built to defeat that. Like that's their whole concept.
That's that's a Mike Leach in a nutshell, right? He's going to tell you. Yeah.
And so, okay, well, obviously they were getting killed with it, but Coach O and what's the defensive coordinator's name? How could I forget?
I remember.
From Nebraska.
Oh, Bellini.
Right?
Jeez.
They said, no, you know, this is what we do. It's going to pay off later in the year. We're going to keep doing it no matter what. And it cost them a pretty embarrassing win to start the year and a few more along the way. But you can see with those athletes, right, their stubbornness is starting to pay off with the win last week. Yeah. They were competitive on defense tonight. But then on the flip side, you know, Jimbo's going to do what Jimbo is going to do, right? Especially in a game in this kind of weather, right? It's almost like he's going to bring it in a little bit. He's going to be even more conservative than he would want to be. But all that being said, there was some other things going on the field that were very disturbing. One individual in particular, which we'll talk about. Okay, we'll get there.
Okay.
But I thought maybe we would start off. We set the table, but let's start off with what we really liked about this game. And that's on the other side of the football.
Oh, yeah.
The defense. The top defense in the SEC.
Yeah, somehow.
They've just gotten better as the year's gone on.
Exactly.
And they were absolutely dominant tonight.
They really were. And LSU's offense has problems. They don't know what to do at quarterback. They don't know really kind of who they are coming off the year with Burrow. They're kind of searching, I think, to get that identity back. But regardless, that's virtually a shutout. I don't much care about the
third string quarterback, you know, whatever at the end of the game. Okay. Yeah. They shut him out.
They shut him out. And gosh, they did it in a way that I didn't really expect. It was almost like watching that Mississippi State game again, right, where we got pressure no matter what we did.
Right.
Although that's a bit of an exaggeration because Mike Elko, defensive coordinator, was earning his keep all night, I think, keeping these two, young, inexperienced quarterbacks off balance, bringing numbers from all different kinds of places, and making the offensive line guess at what was coming. And it worked over and over and over again. Great tackling.
Oh, the tackling was spectacular.
Yeah, which is something,
because not just in the backfield.
No.
Like in space.
Yes.
Out on the edges, in space, even when receivers caught the ball.
Mm-hmm. Athletic receivers, again, like we know LSU's got athletes all over the place. So it's not as if our defense is trying to tackle our receivers that seem to not operate in space. So, yeah, I love what we saw from the defense, and obviously we needed them tonight. When the offense was kind of trash.
Yeah. Despite having a running back go for about 150. I haven't seen his final numbers. At one point, it was 20 carries for 130. Spiller was good on a night where it seemed like he was either cranking out 7 or 8 or getting stopped right at the line. But somehow ended up with some really nice numbers. But, yeah, the offense was still trash. I mean, go back to the defense, though. I don't want to get off of this too quick. Sure. Tyree Johnson was a freaking man possessed. That dude could not be blocked by either tackle tonight. Right? It didn't matter which edge he was coming off.
No.
Dude was getting some serious pressure. He ended up with a couple sacks, but the other players around him ended up with even more, or at least really impactful pressure.
Pressure and containment.
Yes. Yeah, because those quarterbacks weren't running out of that at all tonight. And they're not mobile guys, but they're inexperienced guys, and that really hurt them tonight. So,
even a guy like Bobby Brown,
getting
a guy on the edge as he's trying to escape the pocket. Who, Bobby's a space eater, very athletic one, but like he's not, a speed guy at all. So,
he had a really impactful night too. In the middle, like you said, McKinley Jackson was in there a couple times, eating up space. Leal had a huge sack. That forced basically a big third and long, and they got out of it. Who was the guy out on the edge that made the stop on the running back as he leaked out? 15,
Jeremiah Martin.
Jeremiah Martin with a nice open field tackle.
Guy with not a lot of snaps.
Yeah.
But making plays.
No, we commented on that specifically, that play, because what you see a lot of times on the edge is a guy, especially a safety or a corner, or even a linebacker, they try to go for the kill shot
at full speed.
Well, Jeremiah Martin doesn't have a kill shot.
No, he doesn't. He knows. he's like a 5'1" guy.
Yeah. No, he's a big, thick, wide guy.
He's a defensive lineman.
But he played it right. Right. Just let me stay here. Let that guy go one way or the other.
And help is on its way.
Just
slow him down.
The linebacker came in. I think it was Aaron White, 32, came in and cleaned that. Yeah, Andre White. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, just look good. Like you said, good open field tackle. We had a pick 6. Thank God.
Yes.
Or else we're looking at a 13-7 final score. Yeah, we had a pick 6 at the right time. So God, the defense was they were awesome. They were spectacular. They saved the team's bacon tonight.
They did.
Because it's time. It's time. We got a bunch of viewers on.
What?
Now. We got 8, man. That's like the most viewers we've ever had. So thank you guys for joining us.
Get a life.
Yeah. No, we're going to be here all night. Look, we're already a couple bourbons in, and that was before Victory Scotch.
It was that kind of game.
We had to start drinking early just to survive. But now it's time to talk offense. Okay.
I don't want to.
We talked a little bit about Spiller, but we got to talk about number 11. We got to talk about the quarterback. You said the offense was trash tonight, and he was trash. He was not good.
He was not. Nobody was good, though, which made him look even more trash than he really was, because he was bad, but he was not as bad as the meltdown I think we're seeing on Twitter and Texags and all that.
And who knows, man? I mean, look, like we said earlier, there was a lot of things going on, wet ball, time off. But you know what? At the end of the day, there were plays there to be made, and there was time in the pocket.
A lot of time.
and the quarterback didn't look good. He wasn't throwing the ball well, especially early.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he came out, was misfiring. He was behind guys. Anais made a spectacular catch on a third down that ended up getting ruled just short of the first down line, which was kind of a trash review in my opinion.
It really was.
But he had to go all out to make that catch because it wasn't a good ball. They were short of the receivers, or it looked like immediate reads on guys that were covered, like obviously covered.
Yes.
So
by like two guys.
Yeah. So it was bad reads, or way too quick reads. Okay. Or bad throws, which is a really bad combination with a quarterback. So it was a bad night, man. For him.
Then it went from all of those things you just talked about, and then throw in some bad drops as well.
The drops kind of came later.
Like,
and I want to get there.
There was a bad one from Weidemeyer early.
You're right. There was one. But check this out. So he was really bad early, and then all of a sudden he got it going. Okay, on one drive, he started hitting the little, the quick passes. They were on the money. The running back or even Weidemeyer was catching them in stride. We're moving down the field. He hits the one to Weidemeyer that gets to the 5. Okay, and looks like it's going to be first and goal from the 5. And then they say, no, it's short. And so now it's fourth down and a way too long. Okay, it should have been 4th and inches. That looked like 4th and a yard and a half based on where they spotted it, which again I thought was trash. We run the QB sneak, and Mon, who's gotten it going, then makes a really terrible decision to try to extend the ball. It looked like he thought he was on the goal line.
He thought he was on the goal line.
Right? Like touchdown.
No, it's not how it works.
No, that's not how it works. And you just, the air just out of the balloon. Thank God the defense kind of took, they stood up. They made the play to keep LSU from scoring. But that was an opportunity, guys, to go up 17-0, 13-0 at worst, and really kind of, put your foot on their throat. And it seemed like all that momentum that Mon had up to that point throwing the football just vanished. Because from then on, it went from bad Mon to really bad Mon to what the hell is going on, Mon. Everybody across the country is starting to take notice. Right? Your national guys are going, oh my God, this guy can't hit the broadside of a barn. My wife comes in and goes, well, how's it going? I said, it's going really bad. And she goes, yeah, I noticed we haven't scored a lot of points. I said, yeah, the quarterback's throwing balls to places that have never been thrown to before. Never. It's an exaggeration, but it was bad. It wasn't good.
It was Randy McCown-esque, I think.
Wow. Randy McCown-esque.
Trying to legalize the bounce pass.
Yeah. And then the drops started happening when every once in a while a ball was put on the numbers. I think guys were shocked when they came out of their break and the ball was right there. They were like, first of all, he's throwing to me. Chase Lane. Chase Lane's like, what?
Huh?
I haven't been thrown to in a month, because it's basically been a month. I think he caught one pass in the South Carolina game, and he's been off for 3 weeks. So guy doesn't remember what it's like to have a pass thrown his way. Anais Smith isn't in the same zip code as those passes, and they weren't guys being on the wrong, they weren't.
It made you wonder.
Yeah,
but no.
But then we see it on replay.
No.
Those guys were running a route, and the ball was nowhere in it. So, man, I don't know what to think about that, to be honest. Kellen has been so solid for the last couple of weeks, and then just to see that kind of performance, it is very concerning. And we've gone back to this a million times. Kellen Mond is the perfect example of the power of the uncluttered mind. Okay, when it's fast-paced or it's just go time, he's brilliant. But then sometimes he comes out, especially like tonight, and you even see the body language. It was back to that, I feel like I'm studying for a calculus exam and I haven't gone to class all semester.
Oh, yeah.
I know
that feeling.
Right. Yeah, you do actually. See, that's my nightmare, but you actually know what that's like.
Oh, I've lived it many times.
Many times. But seriously, that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
And I hated hearing the sideline reporter talking about him slump-shouldered, not talking to anybody on the sideline. Like that's last year Kellen Mond. Yeah. That's old school Kellen Mond. Everything's
or after Vandy Kellen Mond.
After Vandy. Until Florida.
Yeah.
It's like Florida, hey, we got this. So man, if you're an Aggie fan, that's rough to hear, and that's concerning, But hopefully we just strike this up to a bad night, and being off so long. So
sorry, apparently you gave me a crap link because I tweeted it out, and no, it's on my thing. I don't know. I'm trying to. One, you didn't tell me it was on my thing, and then
I think I did. Maybe I did. Let's see what you got. Yeah, you got the new one. I'm sending it.
I got one now. I don't know. I'm just getting Twitter feedback from.
Oh, well, that's not good. We need some people.
Yeah, somebody wants to watch. Don't know what his problem is.
I don't know. We got viewers, so hopefully, maybe those are guys coming in from Texas.
Well, it has to be people subscribed and not getting. Oh, you posted on Texas?
I did post it on Texas. Wow. We do have at least one response. The question was, how pissed off is everybody tonight? First one, it's completely normal to not be happy with how you won a game. I agree with that.
Agreed.
Ask Alabama. That's what continues to drive them and make them a great program. And by the way, he's right.
Uh-huh.
I shouldn't say he. Paloma Pachanga? I don't know. That was terrible.
There aren't a lot of women on Texas.
There's not a lot.
Just law of averages.
Because they're smart.
Yeah,
they're smarter than we are.
It's a dumb way to spend your time.
It is.
Yeah. So,
but he's right. It's okay to be upset, and that really pisses me off because there's a lot of people like, "Hey, we won." What's everybody's? No.
Hey, including and hold on, be careful what you say because the great pup, which on Texas that is Kevin Smith, multiple-time Pro Bowler, 3 rings with the Cowboys. Was he there for all 3 of them? He was.
At least the first 2.
Former Aggie great is admonishing the boards tonight to just be happy about the win. And
just be happy.
We're trying.
We're
trying. But yeah, I have no choice but to try to chalk most of this up to rust and losing all of the momentum of what you were building, from the Florida game on, and hope that Jimbo rides their ass all week and they come out ready to go.
Right.
So
I hope you're right. So let's dive in a little bit more, though. We talked about Mon's passing, but you mentioned earlier that there was an opportunity in this game, especially with the weather and having a quarterback that can run.
Mm-hmm.
We've discussed whether he's a good runner or not, because not a good runner, but can run.
Yeah.
But tonight is one of those games where you drop back to pass, your guys are covered, and like what you said, chew up some yardage, right? The running lanes are there. Go get 6 or 7, live to fight another down. And we specifically called out fourth quarter, 12:53 to go. Kellen Mond did what?
11:53.
11:53.
That was his first scramble on a non-QB design run.
Yes.
Where he just took off.
He took off. And what happened?
He got 9 yards. He turned a probably 12 to 13 yard gain into a 9-yard gain. And now I'm struggling to remember if we
that's fair.
But it is fair. I am correct. But who cares?
Yes.
Go get that 9.
Instead of just throwing it deep to triple covered Wiedemeyer.
Yes.
Right?
Or an Ananias Smith who's covered by a corner that is 3 inches taller than him.
Yeah, and he's going to play in the NFL next year.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. So
11:53 to go in the game was the first time he did it on a night where it was critical to moving the offense.
Just move the chains, put yourself in short yardage on second or third down instead of, our nation leading third down percentage went to crap tonight.
It's a hell in a handbasket.
Yeah, and that's entirely up to way too many 3rd and 10s, 3rd and 15s. Some penalties didn't help, but also just, not
just a refusal to get the yardage. Yeah. Right. And we've talked about that a ton. That, and look, Jimbo doesn't really want that out of his quarterback. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, on a night like tonight, that's the night where you need it the most. And I kind of thought we were going to get that because early on, you had Mon on the keeper, right? The zone read, kept the ball, took off.
Yeah.
Again, got about what 12. It was I think they said
Oh,
it
no,
was
it
a
was like
15 yard. It was like a
okay.
15-yard run that looked like it could have been 30. It looked like it could have been 30, but it is what it is. But I'll take the 15. And you thought, okay, that's part of the game plan tonight. Let's get him going. But man, that we didn't see it after that. We really didn't. And yeah, like you said, 3rd and 10. Let's just throw it deep, which was ironic, right? Because we've actually been screaming all season to stretch the defense. But tonight was some kind of crazy extreme on the far end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to throw it no matter what. My last option, I'm going to go through all my reads and then I'm just going to chunk it. And I don't have guys that are open, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to do it anyway.
Well, we're guessing that he's going through his reads. I really got the impression that at a certain point, Kellen completely lost faith in anyone not named Anais Smith. Like, we talked about the kind of flood of drops that started happening later in the game. And then it became, like we said, throw to Anais when he's covered by a guy who's bigger and stronger and just as fast. And then, even Weidemeyer didn't seem to get the targets you would expect. He also had kind of some bad drops early. You know what I mean? Like, it just seemed like Kellen started to just lock in on his guy. Even there were a couple of those throws to Anais where Lane is doing exactly what the commentators were saying we need to be doing, and that is running away from that coverage over the middle, and he's open, and like Kellen's not even considering that pass. And we're talking early down stuff too. Not where you've got to throw past the chains or anything. So man, it's just overall not a good night.
Yeah. And I was still pretty shocked at who we didn't see on the field as well. And I think this goes back to our head coach is a little bit stubborn, and I get it. I do. But on nights like tonight, where you really need to be able to run the football and you need to be able to get some dump off passes, like Noah Chain on the field until really late in the game. I think he only got 1 carry, maybe 2. And then they're not really even like Anais stayed in the slot all night. This felt like the perfect night to get him in the backfield, leak him out of the backfield one-on-one with the linebackers in space, dump the ball off, chew up 4 or 5 yards, run the ball effectively with some swing passes, especially the way they were just lining up man on man to everybody on the outside and leaving those safeties over the top. Like, it just seemed really odd. Everything about the game seemed really odd. But leave it to Jimbo to go, hey, this is going to be a 20-7 game and we're going to win. Like, I can honestly see him sitting back and thinking, that's what I'm going for. I'm going for 20-7, and I'm going to do everything I can. So I don't know, guys.
Maybe.
Can we talk about the punter? Can we talk about the special teams? Because if there was a bright spot tonight, it actually was. Okay, that's not fair. The defense was spectacular. I'm sorry.
Right.
I misspoke. Special teams outplayed the offense, that's for sure. We had several punts down inside the 10 on the night. No dropped snaps from a punter on a wet night, right? A beautiful field goal from Seth Small.
Yeah.
Okay. Right down the middle, plenty of leg into it. So, clean snap, clean hold. No drop punts on a wet night.
Almost. I mean,
I know every time.
And I scares us every time. I don't know. But
I think that's battered Aggie syndrome. But yes, it does always look pretty it looks iffy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think that's totally BAS. You're just sitting there and the ball goes in the air and you see him standing there with dudes running down the field and you're like, everything starts to tense up a little bit. But that's every punt for the most part. Like, that's the nature of the game.
Yeah, I guess so. There was one time where he caught the ball on the 7-yard line. In my mind, stand at the 10. If it goes over your head, it goes over your head. But Anais doesn't seem to play that way.
No.
I will say I actually thought he played pretty well tonight, given the limited opportunities to do something with the football. I thought he was good. Up until Spiller's 50-yard touchdown run, I thought he was the only guy on the offense that was playing well.
Right.
The offensive line, they weren't great. They were not great tonight. Some of that had to do with how, like you said, how LSU had schemed us. They had the bodies up front to match up one-on-one. The linebackers were just absolutely overplaying the point of attack on the night. And you saw later in the game, like guys trying to – the play's designed to go right. As soon as I get the ball, I'm stopping and going back left. Man, but that's where the athleticism of LSU's defense comes into play because those guys recovered, right? And we're able to make some plays if Spiller tried to come back left or whatever. But just not a good night for the offensive line. We weren't getting that push we've been seeing. Part of that was just, if you make some throws and
then you slow them down.
Or you start running the ball
on
3rd and 6 out of a play action pass, and you take off and pick up some yardage. You start to make that defense play on their heels instead of on their toes. Maybe it looks very, very different, but that just wasn't how this was going to go tonight.
No, and that make no mistake, it's fun to watch what's happened to LSU after what they did last year, but that is the most athletic front seven we've played since Alabama. By far. And that's the nature of playing LSU. And that's why we're all just kind of sitting there this week going, got LSU coming to town. Yeah, they're not very good this year, but they're a good team playing bad football right now.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference between, a bad football team and a good team playing bad football.
There is.
And so,
because that ladder, it can always jump up and bite your ass. The former, excuse me.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know half of what I'm saying right now.
Yeah, I don't either.
Speaking of pass the boot in, man, I need to try some of this.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So where do we go from here? We got Auburn next.
Auburn. Oh shoot. No,
I watched them play Alabama today.
Before we talk Auburn, I have to mention, if any of you were watching the broadcast and are now down about this win, purely because the announcers said about 50 times tonight that we needed to win this game convincingly, that we needed to beat all these remaining opponents convincingly, do not fear. Because that is total bullshit. Like, completely.
It is.
The funniest thing is because and the way they couched it was they said, here's the easiest path for A&M to get to the playoff. And they said, Ohio State, Alabama, and Notre Dame win out.
Yep.
And you win all of these games convincingly. I think we heard the word convincingly seriously 50 times. And especially under that scenario where those three teams win out, you do not have to win all of these convincingly. Nobody is going to care about this game 3 or 4 weeks from now when they're making the picks. They might care if like all of these games come down to a field goal or a touchdown, but no, all you had to do was win this game, get your wheels back on, keep winning. If Notre Dame beats Clemson again, you're ahead of them. We're not falling behind a 2-loss Clemson. If Alabama wins out, like they said, and beats Florida, we are not falling behind a 2-loss Florida team that we already beat.
Yep.
Okay. In that scenario, it is going to be Ohio State, Alabama, Notre Dame, and Texas A&M if we can win all of these. And it does not matter how many style points we get doing it. There's nobody behind us in that scenario that's going to jump us.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
absolutely agree.
Shut up. Don't worry. Now, if Notre Dame can't beat Clemson again, which we think is kind of likely, I don't know. All sorts of things start happening from there. If Ohio State can't go to their own Big Ten championship game because they missed too many games due to COVID, who knows? I don't know. But in the scenario they laid out, no, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter anyway. Just win the football games. that's all you can do, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and as much as we're sitting here griping tonight, or
Sure.
we're picking apart a win because that's what you're supposed to do anyway.
Right.
Right.
It's the meltdown show.
It's the meltdown show. We're sitting here drinking victory scotch. Okay, but we can still gripe about things. Okay, but as much as we did, we said earlier this week, just win this freaking game.
Mm-hmm.
All the things we talked about at the very beginning of the show, the weather, time off, it's LSU, their athleticism, it's going to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Just win the damn game. We won the game by 13 points. Yeah. Okay. In a monsoon with a quarterback playing trash football, we won by 13 points. Okay. Yeah. So it is a good night, and nobody should feel anything other than it's a good night.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. You can wake up in the middle of the night in the cold sweats about how your quarterback played, but it doesn't matter. You won the game, and we said, got to win the game no matter how you do it.
Yeah.
So victory is ours. And can we look ahead to Auburn then?
Yes. Yeah. Now we can look ahead.
Okay. So next week we play the Tigers.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Again, we play Auburn at Auburn. At least that's how it's set up right now. Anything could change by Monday by 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
But we're traveling to Auburn, who took on Alabama today and looked absolutely horrific doing it. They look terrible. That doesn't mean they're going to look terrible against us.
No.
Okay, doesn't at all, because in some ways Auburn kind of mirrors LSU. Okay, in the pecking order, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's Alabama, who's elite at every position.
Right.
All right, and seems it doesn't matter how many guys go pro, they're going to be elite at every position, and they've got their program. They got Nick Saban coaching from his house.
Yeah.
And then there's Alabama and LSU, who always have athletes, but Auburn's a different animal than LSU. Okay, in the way that they approach the game. Okay, and you've talked a lot about this, so I want you to talk about what's the problem that Auburn presents to A&M. LSU does not. But what is the problem that Auburn presents?
Well, LSU doesn't this year for some reason. And that's, I think, like I said, an issue with their identity, and they're trying to find a quarterback and all of that. But what Auburn does that's been a problem for A&M is the same thing that Dan Mullen does at Florida, and what, they're kind of trying to do at Arkansas right now with Kendall Briles. And that is the quote unquote eye candy, right?
Yep.
A lot of stress on your linebackers to play disciplined football, to know your assignment, to stick to your assignment, and not get caught looking at all the pre-snap motion and the dudes running across your face and all of that stuff. They really stress you there. And so, yeah, that's going to be a test for us. We saw Eric Young back a lot tonight.
Yeah.
Which we think is our best kind of nickel corner linebacker hybrid kind of position. I don't know. It's what Elko does is a little weird in this game.
I agree.
But
he was out there. He played okay.
He was out there. He played okay. And so hopefully he continues to play okay, and we don't see a lot of Devin Morris having to play in that role. Because he has not done so well against the type of offense that Auburn likes to roll out there.
And Devin Morris tends to see some things that aren't there, or miss the things that are. Yeah. It was a great example of that tonight. I can't even remember the guy's name that played quarterback for that started.
Because there were two of them.
Well, there were two. Actually, there was three.
Was it Johnson that started?
I don't know. But
Johnson started.
At one point, Devin Morris comes in on like a corner blitz. And I swear, like, he never saw the quarterback. The quarterback took one step, and I don't think the quarterback ever saw Devin Morris, and I don't think Devin Morris ever saw the quarterback. Went right by him.
Finley was playing at that point. They had already switched quarterbacks. And, that was the strangest thing I'd ever seen. And you mentioned, and I think you're 100% correct, it was completely a player scared to death of getting a roughing the passer penalty because he came in so untouched. It was like he didn't know what to do.
He got 5 steps away and was like, I can't F this up. And he did.
He just kind of got a hand on Finley's chest, sort of, but just ran right by him. And even Finley was kind of surprised. Like, now I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I was prepared to get lit up, and now I have to throw this football. And I think it ended up still being a decent
It was a good play. Yes. Yeah. It was incomplete. It was incomplete.
It was incomplete. So it went from an incomplete where it should have been like a 5-yard sack.
True.
But Devin Morris completely whiffed. That was spectacular.
It was. But you talked about iCameo. And actually, in front of us is SEC Now. We're watching Auburn versus Alabama. And I think what I loved about this game was watching Auburn try to run their, east-west, crossing routes, everything, run outside game against Alabama. And you can't do that against Alabama.
No, you can't.
You cannot do that.
Because if you miss an assignment on the Alabama defense, you die.
You die. Right?
Yeah.
So it looked ridiculous, and the only thing more ridiculous than watching their scheme on offense was the decision by Gus Malzahn multiple times in this game to just settle for some field goals when they did get close enough to kick, and then to turn around and watch Alabama instantly score 7, like within 3 plays. Mm-hmm. And you're on the road. You're already down 2 touchdowns. It's about to be 3, and you're kicking a field goal. He did it several times. They made 2. Okay, they traded field goals for touchdowns twice, and then they missed one. And, Alabama just rolled them. Okay, they did what they've done to everybody, what they did to us. God dang, man, freaking Minchie. I mean, their talent at the wide receiver position maybe unlike anything we've ever seen in college football. They're not doing it with, the Coopers of the world. They're doing it with these guys that are just running really precise routes. They're exactly where they're supposed to be. Yeah. They've got the speed to get the separation. And then they got this quarterback who doesn't miss.
Yeah.
He does not miss downfield. Unbelievable. You can confuse him for a little while, but eventually, look at that. Just puts the ball. Like, we try that.
Oh, yeah.
The only problem is that there's 6 inches of separation instead of 3 feet on these post routes and, to the pylon. Forget it.
And the ball's just not laid in
it's
the dude's bread basket like that either.
Yeah.
No,
it's not.
Oh.
And then Auburn, when they did have opportunities, they just bricked them.
Yeah.
More or less. So,
which is what we do typically on those kinds of downfield opportunities.
So look, here's the thing. Going into the Auburn game, Auburn is not a good football team. They're a good football team. They're a talented football team, like you said earlier, that's playing really bad football.
Yeah.
I would almost argue they're playing worse football than LSU, okay? Because I think LSU is getting better. Yeah. I think they're getting incrementally better.
Yeah, there's kind of no excuse for Bo Nix at this point.
No, there's not. Yeah. He's not good.
No.
And I just – if A&M gets their crap together – and takes this defense on the road, which defense travels.
Yeah.
Okay. And Kellen Mond plays a halfway decent game.
Yeah.
You ought to go win by 2 scores.
You ought to.
Minimum.
Which is plenty convincing, by the way.
That would be convincing.
2 scores on the road against Auburn, you're fine. Just keep winning.
Go get to 7-1.
Yeah.
Just go do it. Go under the plains and get to 7-1. And let's see what happens because, and we talked about this earlier this week with some of the cancellations going on and everything else and what just happened to A&M. It wouldn't shock me if LSU was basically the last conference game we played. It definitely wouldn't shock me if Auburn's the last game that we played.
Right.
Okay. So go get the wins while you can.
Yeah.
And then let it play out. Like we said, Ohio State's in a pickle when it comes to the number of games. And you just never know what's going to happen. And time's running out. Like, there are no games after the 19th, right? So any cancellation, and not just us canceling a game, right? Other teams having to cancel games and having to re-scramble that egg from a schedule standpoint, could impact A&M. You could go play Auburn, and then you might end up having to play Tennessee that last week because of scheduling conflicts on the 19th. You may end up with like an open date on the 12th. And not playing Ole Miss at all. because of the way the schedule works out. So if the opportunity presents itself next week, go win it. That's why we said this was so critical to get this one anyway. They're all critical at this point.
Survive this one after not playing football for 3 weeks. Yeah. And then do the best you can.
Absolutely. So, Casey, I think what you need to do, and one of our lights just went out, but I think we're going to be all right. It's fine. Who cares about video quality, right?
You don't want to look at us anymore.
You really don't.
You barely want to listen to us.
Yeah, but you know what we're about to do? We're about to trash the shit out of Texas. Okay. All right. Awesome. So you might even want to tweet that back out.
Yeah.
Okay? You might want to tee that up.
Okay.
Because we talked about the A&M game plenty. Okay. And now it's time to kind of look around the landscape. And man, there's nowhere I would like to start. God, how much time do we have? Okay. We got
as much as we want. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's not go through that much Lagavulin tonight.
This is a sipping scotch.
You buy the next one. If we go through all of this,
I'm going to have to buy the next one for sure. Because I know how much this stuff runs over here in the States.
In the States. Paying those tariffs.
But yeah, you got to tweet this out. It's time to talk about we talked about trash offense. Not just about the trash program. Just talking about trash program. Okay. And that is the Texas Longhorns. And I'm ready. So I'll let you do your thing.
Hold on. Oh, my thing.
Do your Twitter thing.
Hold on.
By the way, if you follow us on Twitter at Meltdown Aggs, right?
Yeah.
At Meltdown Aggs is our Twitter account. I'm talking to 5 people right now. We're doing all right on Twitter. But what you'll notice during a game is kind of like this bipolar thing going on. That's because we're both tweeting.
We're both tweeting from the same account.
Yeah. And I don't know how many times we step on each other's toes. And so you're getting 2 kind of different views of the world. Okay.
Yeah.
2 different shades of jaded. All right. During a football game. And I think that's pretty entertaining in and of itself.
Maybe.
Because we're sitting 5 feet apart and we're both on the damn Twitter account. I mean, it's hilarious.
Earlier tonight, I tweeted word for word something that you text to Brendan and Graham in our group text.
I was like, I just said that. How did he get on the tweet?
I was like, that's awesome. Copy, paste, tweet.
So it is a good follow during the game. I think there's some nice handcrafted, expertly delivered
Cooper Manning jokes that could totally go over everybody's head.
Cooper Taglio, I can't even say it, but you delivered it so well earlier. Yeah. That was a trash joke.
It's not
so trash. I didn't understand.
It was handcrafted and awesome.
Okay, whatever.
Okay. Anyway,
so go check us out at Meltdown Eggs. But can we talk about what happened yesterday in Austin? Actually, can we hang on? I got to back up. Okay, this rant starts on Thursday, okay? Because the newest Thanksgiving tradition, okay, in the state of Texas, is for Texas fans, idiot journalists. Okay, maybe idiot journalists.
Yeah, then Texas fans.
And then your random, like 10% of your A&M fan base.
Yeah, all of your self-loathing Aggies.
Self-loathing, I love that.
Yes.
Yeah. Who will start tweeting out after Thanksgiving dinner about how much they miss the A&M Texas game and how much they really, really wish A&M and Texas was playing on Thanksgiving night. Okay, because they don't have anything else to do.
Right.
All right. And just let me tell you how beautiful I think that is. I love every second of this new Thanksgiving tradition.
Yeah.
Because I actually went and watched some old YouTube videos of some older A&M Texas games on Thanksgiving. And 30 seconds in, I was reminded of how much I hate them. I hate them so much. And then I was reminded of all the things that happened to cause us to finally leave and go to where we always should have been. Always. Okay. The SEC. Okay. The perfect fit for us. And what that did to the Texas fan base and the Texas program. Okay. And nobody in the national media outside of Andy Staples has any freaking clue.
No.
what kind of impact that had, and to sit and watch those people lament not having A&M to play on Thanksgiving night when we laid it out for them and said, we will keep playing this game.
Yes.
The SEC carved it out to play this game.
Yes,
and
not just A&M. The SEC said, we will accommodate the Thanksgiving schedule however you want.
Yes.
And
what did they say?
No,
they say no.
We're busy.
Yeah, you're heading east. Yeah, good luck with that.
No.
Go suck it.
No.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
And they've been sucking it ever since.
Yes.
Okay, to the point where their schedule is so trash that they're begging for that game back. And make no mistake, it's not a polite, oh, we really wish we could play A&M on Thanksgiving. It is a desperation in the tone and in the message of they know they need it. They know they need that game, okay? Because otherwise there's no way to change the momentum, and we're not giving it to you.
No.
Because
otherwise you're losing to Iowa State at home on the week of Thanksgiving while A&M is number 5 in the college football playoff rankings. And you can't do anything. You've got to figure out some way to get them on your schedule and beat them.
I'll drink to that. Go to hell. Seriously, people. I'm so sick of you should cheer for the state of Texas. This would be great for the state of Texas. Go to hell.
Go to hell.
Every sport,
every game from now to the end of time.
Now to the end of time, I hope
now
they lose.
To the end of time.
Yes.
They lose every single one. Yeah. I'm sick of hearing about it. I'm sick of hearing about how it's good for the state of Texas because I will sort of give the Texas fan base a pass for being complete hypocrites on that front because that's what fan bases do.
Sure.
Okay.
That's fair.
I will not give the media in this state a pass on this bullshit good for the state of Texas take.
Yeah.
Because none of them were rightfully calling out the Texas administration for not scheduling this game and letting it die.
Yep.
Now it was, what are they supposed to do? A&M is leaving as if we're moving to a different planet and can't play football anymore with a non-conference schedule. They just, what is Texas supposed to do? They shouldn't let A&M play. That, A&M's being so mean by leaving the Big 12 and destabilizing the Big 12.
Man, massive revisionist history.
Yeah.
So like I said, go to hell.
Go to hell. All of you.
And I loved, Thursday night, if you follow us at Meltdown Eggs, actually retweeted Clarence Hill Jr.
Oh, I didn't see this.
You didn't see this,
No.
right? So he tweets from the Cowboy game with all of his UT journalist compatriots, because they all came out of that school. Okay.
Oh, right.
And they're all flashing the hook 'em, and they just say, hey, hoping for a win tomorrow morning against Iowa State. And I thought, how beautiful a tweet is that from a prominent journalist, radio host personality, with the Dallas Morning
And
News.
UT alum.
And UT alum.
Okay.
Yes.
I think. Okay.
Hoping for a win at home on 11 a.m. on Friday after Thanksgiving against a team that has not won a conference championship in over 100 years. And they didn't win.
No, they didn't.
They lost. They lost to Iowa State at home. Okay. Hey, I'll give them all the
humiliating fashion. Well, not humiliating fashion, but in the perfect.
It was really perfect.
It was really perfect if you just sit there and you just we all just think of the mastermind Dave Campbell Texas football cover of Tom Herman when he was hired. And the way they lost that game with stupid play calling at the end, with stupid clock management,
Horrible clock
management at the end, and mediocre play from Sam Ellinger, who we don't want to bag on too badly on this show. For all of Sam's faults, there are many times where we sit and watch Sam and go, God, I wish he was our quarterback. I wish our quarterback played with, maybe not wish he was our quarterback, but wish our quarterback
played with that kind of passion.
Yeah.
Right. And that kind of determination.
Times. Right.
The kind that when you drop back on 3rd and 10
yeah.
and it's not there, makes something out of nothing.
Yeah.
And make sure that the offense keeps rolling, which is why they've had so many come from behind victories. Right. They've snatched victory from defeat several times this year, despite losing 3 games to mediocre competition. Yeah. I describe Sam Ellinger this way. I really respect Sam Ellinger. I respect his passion for his school and the way that he leads his football team and the type of player he is on the field. If I was driving from College Station to Austin on a Friday night at 2 a.m. and I see Sam Ellinger on the side of the road and he has a flat tire and he's got his thumb out, man, I would roll down the window. And as I'm going about 70 miles an hour, I would just say, damn good job, Sam. And I would keep on going. Okay. And I would just laugh my ass off with him in the rearview mirror. Like I respect the hell out of the job he's done, but son, you're stuck.
You're stuck.
That's how it is. That's what a rivalry is. Okay. It never dies.
And I love seeing, after saying that about Sam and the respect that you just showed Sam somehow,
hey,
the fact that his coach and his administration and seemingly the fan base has hung him out to dry so badly this season after everything he's done.
Yeah.
Like, it's just perfect. It's a perfect encapsulation of that school.
Yeah.
And the issues going on at that school. So yeah, that was just a lot of fun to see. And especially because, let me tell you this, as if there are any Texas fans watching. I know they are not, but let me tell you this.
There's nobody watching.
There's nobody watching, and there's certainly no Texas fans watching, but let me tell you this. Iowa State is trash. That is a trash football team. That is a football team that lost to Louisiana Monroe, not Louisiana State, not even Tulane. They lost, they lost. Was it ULA? I'm sorry. Was it not Monroe? Does it matter?
There was some way
could it possibly matter? It might matter a little bit. I don't know. It doesn't matter. They're trash. They're not a good football team.
Louisiana Lafayette.
Oh my God. At 13, the most criminally overrated team in the college football playoff rankings, which is saying a lot because Texas was sitting there at 17. Okay. But Iowa State, not a good football team. And you let them come into your house on Thanksgiving week, the Friday after Thanksgiving, when your coach had to have this game, we are told, to save his job. And not only did you let them beat you, but you let them beat you in just the dumbest way possible, where they trailed the entire game.
Yep.
For some reason, they couldn't figure out that they could run on your defense kind of at will in the red zone and farted away several possessions in the red zone. So they were losing when they shouldn't have been. And then with horrible clock management, you let them win the game, basically.
Yes. They lost by 17 points to ULA. They didn't just lose. They lost by 3 scores. I didn't even realize it was that bad. I mean, they beat TCU by 3. Wow. They did lose to Oklahoma State.
And you people have the nerve to look at our college football playoff ranking and be like, they only beat Vandy by 7 points.
Yeah. Go to hell.
Go to hell. We've had too much to drink.
Well, I haven't had enough yet. I think you've had too much. I haven't had quite enough.
Yeah.
But Texas, what a dumpster fire. It's
Yeah.
crushing their recruiting, which is beautiful. Okay, so not even the rivals guys can overcome these recruiting rankings.
No.
Yeah, it's not good. Tom Herman's on the hot seat, and there's a lot of talk about Urban Meyer. We've covered this. We don't need to go into this in too much detail, but there's no way he's surviving this, right? Like, I guess he could win out, but what does that get him?
What? Yeah.
What
does that get him?
3 losses in a whole when this was supposed to be the year.
The year.
This was the Heisman Trophy Sam Ehlinger year. And by the way, statistically, this is his worst season.
Yeah.
Like go look
That's
at
great
the
coaching.
150 yards a game passing out of him. In that conference, you got to be able to fart a football and throw for 150 yards in the Big 12.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. The Big 12, I've been told now, they play defense there.
They play defense.
Yeah.
It's parity and defense. And
I'm sure they have one player drafted off of all those defenses in the NFL.
No.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Let's not belabor the point too much, but I have to come back to, because
I like this.
You mentioned the hot seat. I mean, the rumor is that it was do or die this game, and that he might get fired this week. I don't know if they would actually do that, but regardless, that's what we've been told. And so I just want to remind everybody that if you fire Tom Herman, well, first let's set the stage. Let's set the stage.
Everybody ready?
Let's set the stage.
Let's write some checks.
After you sat there and looked at what A&M was doing and how grotesque it was to give Jimbo a $75 million contract for 10 years, we're paying him $7.5 million a year. Okay. You paid or spent at least, well, what it was paid for the most part, $30 million for 3 seasons of Charlie Strong. Okay. Just want to point that out. Once you factor in buyout, okay, you bought him out from Louisville. Then you paid him a big old salary that he didn't really deserve, that you just had to match Kevin Sumlin's salary because how could we possibly have a coach that makes less than Kevin Sumlin at Texas A&M? Because we're the Joneses. Okay, so you overpaid his salary, and then you paid him, I don't remember, it was like $15 million in buyout. Regardless, $30 million at least for 3 seasons of Charlie Strong, $10 million a year. And then
$10 million.
After making that massive mistake and learning from it, you're making the exact same mistake with Tom Herman. If you fire him this week or this season at all,
this is Tom Herman cashing checks.
After you pay
Jimbo money.
I'm seeing $15, $20 million, 20 on the high end, minimum $15 million buyout. You're going to spend another $40 million at least on 4 seasons of Tom Herman. You will have spent $70 million over the last 7 seasons for your coaches.
Hang on. How much is that a year?
That is at least $10 million a year. Meanwhile, we're paying Jimbo Fisher a pittance of $7.5 million a year to be number 5 in the college football playoff rankings.
Yes, we are.
Thank you.
Go to hell. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Texas rant over. We're not going to waste any more time on that. Okay. Who should we waste some time on?
Oh, okay. No. Not necessarily. I just have to waste a little bit of time on. Did you mention Clarence Hill? I have to waste a little bit of time on Ben Baby, who used to cover A&M for the Dallas Morning News.
Oh, man, go lightly on Ben.
No. Okay. Why does everybody want me to go lightly on Ben? I'm so sick of this guy. Now, because this week he's dumping on Aggies for laughing at Texas for losing to Iowa State. And also saying we should not schedule them again, as if these are somehow conflicting opinions when they are not conflicting in any way. We absolutely should not schedule Texas.
Okay.
And it is also absolutely hilarious every time they win. So shut up, Ben. That's the end of my rant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't get notifications on my phone when Ben Baby tweets, so
I don't either.
I don't know. I mean, you're pretty hot under the collar. I didn't see that, but
Look,
hey,
it's all
I'm glad you
because
got your antennas up for that kind of stuff.
It's
I'm going to
because-
focus on Clarence. You keep an eye on Ben.
fine.
We'll be all right.
It's all because I follow a handful of Good Bull Hunting guys who, I mean, I love the Good Bull Hunting guys, but they have got a self. Yeah. Come on, anytime you want, guys.
Anytime.
At least string.
Just reach out.
Just
Yeah.
reach out. But there's a self-loathing Aggie streak to the Good Bull Hunting guys. It's up and down.
Well, they got to keep it real.
They got to keep it real. They have to prove to everybody how real they're keeping it for some reason. I don't know.
Well, that's part of being real.
It's part of being
prove
real.
how
is you
real
gotta
you
prove-
are. Constantly, it's a vicious cycle.
Something.
That's a whole nother show.
I'm sorry, String.
Yeah, sorry guys.
I've
Anyway,
been drinking.
but
But anyway,
hang on, because it's not time to leave the world of journalism. Because there's
Oh.
one other individual out there who universally pisses everyone off, and has for the last several months in particular. This is a national guy, Dan Wilkin.
oh, please. Is he national? Are
He's
you
national.
sure about that?
He's national,
He's national. He's a freak.
like a USA Today guy, I
Oh,
believe.
jeez.
But what a douchebag!
What a douchebag.
Resurrecting some revisionist history on the whole A&M to the
Oh,
SEC.
yeah.
I'm just look, man. The guy has been wrong about just about everything he's tweeted in the last 6 months. He was the biggest. COVID's going to kill every player and every player's grandmother.
That's right.
How dare we play college football?
That's right.
Yeah, and he's looked like an idiot ever since because he actually hasn't stopped with that whole
No.
storyline. Meanwhile, we've played almost, I think after this weekend, there will have been 500 college football games played. Okay.
And not one single case of
Knock on
player-to-player transmission during the game.
Right. Not one. 500
Not one.
games.
500 games.
So go to hell.
Okay, Dan.
Yeah.
So and the reason you bring this up is good because earlier this week, Dan took it upon himself to tweet that after Texas made themselves look stupid against Iowa State, he was like, boy, how can I twist this in a way that somehow I'm going to try to make it look like A&M is the dumb ones for Texas losing to Iowa State at home.
Yeah.
To a horribly overrated Iowa State.
Tried to throw the Longhorn Network in our face.
Yeah. Boy, everyone was so concerned about the Longhorn. Remember when everyone was so concerned about the Longhorn Network that they blew up a conference over it.
Stand back, everybody. It's about to get real. Yeah.
That we blew up the conference
Yeah.
after Texas tried to pull 4 teams out of the Big 12, 4 patsies to go with them to the Pac-12
In the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night,
Without even talking to any of them.
no,
first.
didn't talk to any of those 3 other teams. Just said we're going to go to the Pac-12. These 3 other teams will go with us and screw everybody else in the Big 12. Everyone. Everybody. We're going to leave in the middle of the night and not tell them.
Yeah.
Just be like, these 3 teams are going with us. We somehow blew up the Big 12 over the Longhorn Network.
Yeah. That's a national journalist who
That's
failed to do his homework and got ripped a new one. At least by A&M fans.
Yeah.
At
least by me. Boy.
God.
Scathing quote tweet in response to that.
God.
I'm sure he's still stinging from that one. But regardless, I'm sure he didn't even notice it. But yes, what an idiot. Why does this still happen?
Well, damn, that's a good question.
That's a good question. But in the case of Dan Wilkin, it's because Dan Wilkin can't help himself. He's got an agenda and he's just not going to come off of it. But yeah. Wow.
I'm just looking at the SEC network. They've got our stats up on there. 267 yards total for LSU. 267 yards total for A&M. Oh, we got Jimbo comments. Hang on. Hey, we should definitely listen to this.
Yeah.
on offense, missed blocks, missed throws, not getting open.
The way in which
defense, I thought were outstanding. I thought our defense would play their tails off, did a heck of a job. And special teams, too many critical penalties. We had a major punt return down to 25, get a penalty, have 2 right there. Too many penalties in special teams. And that's my fault as a coach. We got to get that cleaned up, and we need to get a lot sharper.
The offense, what do you
What other
attribute that
things
to?
were your fault, Jimbo?
We weren't as physical. We ran the ball. Spiller, I thought, did a nice job in the game. But we weren't as physical. Got beat on blocks. Had some gap protections. Missed some throws. Just didn't have rhythm. And we had it all week. So we got to figure it out. I got to figure it out.
Nice.
So,
All right.
Yeah.
So Jimbo with his comments, talking about all the penalties on special teams. Yeah, there were a lot. And they weren't in the return. They were before the returner even caught the football, several of them. And that last one, was probably the difference between maybe a 28-7 win, maybe a 28-0 win, because Anais had a nice return down to the 25.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would have had first down from their 25 late in the game. Maybe you're thinking, at least get a field goal out of that. Maybe you grind it out, just run the football downhill. So that was really frustrating because it pushed them back, I think, to their own 40. It was a totally different.
No. It was the penalty was assessed at from where he caught the football.
That's what I'm saying. So did
their own 40. I'm sorry, not the LSU 40. Okay.
Listen to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Listen to me. God, you're so focused on what you wanted to say that you weren't listening to me. It's the same crap you get at home. I bet it is. That's what I get here all the time.
No, I don't get any of that.
I think I need another drink. Okay.
That sounds horrible.
Man, that's bad because I shouldn't say it too loud because we got to go wake somebody up to take you home later.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't live here, folks. Okay. He has his own house. Okay. His own family. Okay.
Mhm.
I know. It's weird. Hey, we just picked up another viewer. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it.
We're up to
I don't
computer's
know.
very far away. I can't read that far.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay.
But we're in hour 2 of the show. Okay.
Not.
Yeah, no, we're in hour 2. It's going great. And I don't think we're going to hit our record, which was over 3 hours.
Oh yeah, waiting for the Texags guys.
That was Arkansas.
Against Arkansas to post their post-game show.
I don't think we're going to do that exactly, but we're having a good time. We're talking about the game. You guys just missed our epic Texas rant. I thought it was worth. Every second. Okay.
Hit rewind.
Yeah, we talked about the national media, and man, my ideal scenario after everything we've talked about, especially with the whole national media and the way that they cover A&M and the way they draw back to these old talking points, and it looks like they just dredge them up. God, I want to make the playoff. I want to make the playoff so bad. And you know who I'd love to play?
Playoff?
Yeah.
You want to play Oklahoma?
No.
No.
I want to play Notre Dame.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get to though.
I don't either, but if I had my way, okay, if I had my ideal scenario is A&M wins out, Clemson and Notre Dame kind of play it close, and Ohio State falters or they don't play enough games. They're stuck at like 5 games, and the committee says no, and we somehow get into the playoff. Yeah, you'd have to be in the 3. I'm just saying.
Notre Dame would have to beat Clemson, and it would
Yeah.
have to be tight, and Ohio State would get eliminated. And then
Yeah.
Notre Dame would be 2, we would be 3, and Clemson would be 4. That's pretty
far-fetched.
That's pretty far-fetched scenario, but just in
I'm
case,
just saying I want to play them.
Yeah.
And maybe if even all of us falls apart
Because
and we end up
would
in some bowl game,
destroy Notre Dame.
I want to play Notre Dame so freaking bad. I want to play them because I've watched them play, and I've watched them play a lot. Okay. And yeah, I'll give them all the credit in the world for beating UNC. But I'll tell you this, UNC stood toe-to-toe with them physically for at least 2.5 quarters.
Yep.
And then, a couple things went wrong. And I'll give Book all the credit as well. I thought he played a phenomenal game.
Sure.
But that guy was running for his life most of the game. Now, he made plays running for his life, but he was running for his life. And UNC just didn't seem up to the task. on offense
Yeah.
like they have been, and Notre Dame's defense got better and better. That's still God. I want to play them. I want to play them so bad, mainly because I don't want to play Alabama.
No.
I don't want to play Alabama, and I really don't want to play Clemson at the end of the year either because I've seen what that looks like, and I'm not all that jazzed about it.
Yeah. There's something going on with Clemson this year. I wouldn't be like horribly angry about that matchup, but everyone assumes that if form holds the way we think it's going to hold,
over here.
Whatever. I mean, I'm not predicting a win over Clemson. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
Man, I don't know what the hell it is about Dabo, but Dabo has his team ready to play in January. That's all I know. Right? It doesn't seem to matter how soft the schedule or how bad the ACC is or what happened earlier in the year. They freaking get to the playoff and they play top-notch football. Everything elevates for them.
Sure.
That guy's a freaking mastermind of elevating the play of his football team.
Counterpoint.
Camera's up here.
Jimbo has had A&M playing its best football at the end of the season as well. And our midseason football is better than we've seen in the last ever.
Yes.
Right? So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
We will see.
Just make the playoffs somehow. But everyone assumes that if we were somehow squeak into the playoffs, that it would be at number 4. And that would put us at number 1, Alabama. If form holds, they're going to stay number 1. And that's an interesting thing. So far, when there have been 2 SEC teams in the playoff, they have kept them apart in the first round. For whatever reason, I tend to think it's because they want to give the other teams a chance to eliminate the SEC from the final. Right? Because if you force 2 SEC teams to play each other in the first round, then you are forcing one SEC team into the final.
Yep.
And then you run the risk of getting accused of SEC bias and forcing a team into the final and all of that.
It's an interesting theory.
It's an interesting theory, but if they were to put A&M in, are they less worried than they've ever been about somehow ending up with 2 SEC teams in the final?
Yeah.
Because the other thing is, okay, you put them in opposite ends. You're giving the other teams a chance to eliminate the SEC from the final. You put them in 2 SEC teams in a semi. Then you're forcing an SEC team into the final. Are they less scared of that scenario because they put A&M in? I don't know. But regardless, I'm not just going to sit here and assume that A&M's going to be number 4 no matter what.
Yeah. So I will shout out. So Schlinger88 chiming in on the live stream. I think Notre Dame is overrated. They have one good win against Clemson, but it was without Trevor. And UNC has losses to UVA and Florida State. He's right. UNC is not a great football team. Oh, my God. We need a mute button.
And
you need to wear a mask. That just sneezed on air. That was fantastic. Where are you going?
I'll be right back. You take care of things.
Okay.
For just a few
You're going to go through like a decontamination chamber after that. So, Graham, you're right. UNC is not like a top-notch opponent. But Notre Dame took care of business. And look, that was impressive. I thought the way they went about the game, they kind of ground UNC down is what you want to see. I was actually expecting UNC to give them a better game than that. And I thought it would be a little bit closer. And so, Notre Dame earned a little bit more respect from me. I know, look, they're not going to get challenged really again until they play Clemson again, which brings up, the scenario is, well, how close. It's kind of funny. If you listen to all the talking heads, they talk about the ACC championship game thusly, right? How close can Notre Dame play Clemson the next time around? And how much of an impact will that be on the final college football poll. And I think that's hilarious because while they want to give Notre Dame all this credit for beating Clemson, what you're hearing in the background noise is we know just as well as anybody else that at full strength, Clemson, with all their defenders back, and Trevor Lawrence probably takes Notre Dame out to the woodshed, right? By a couple touchdowns at least, because that's what they're expecting to happen the next time they play. They won't say that. They won't come right out and say that. But when they discuss all these potential scenarios, that's really the message behind all the noise, is they know Clemson's a much better football team than Notre Dame. And, but they also want to try to give Notre Dame credit for the win. I just kind of look at it this way. What if Notre Dame traveled to Death Valley and didn't have Ian Book and were missing several of the defensive starters? What would that game look like? Would it go to overtime? And I don't believe it would. I think Clemson would have won by 3 touchdowns, to be honest. So you do hear that from the national media in the background, even though they won't come right out and say it. And it's going to be interesting to see how it plays, because I do think Notre Dame runs the table. I think Clemson runs the table. I think they're going to play again. And you're going to have the stage set for this kind of chaos or this kind of weird result, depending on what that final score looks like. How does that affect A&M? Just keep winning. Just keep winning. And, it'll take care of itself. As much as I'd love to make the playoff, and my dream is to make the playoff and play Notre Dame, even if A&M wins out, they're going to be in a New Year's Six Bowl against a quality opponent and have a huge opportunity to finish probably in the top 3 in the country. I think they will.
Yeah, sure. Especially depending on who they get in that New Year's Six Bowl. I'm not interested in playing BYU or Coastal Carolina or somebody like that. But you know who I would love to play? After Corby Davidson of the
Hang on, I'm writing it down before. Dang it, you already said it because I was going to show you.
Okay.
On this magical pad. It says Oklahoma on it.
Yeah.
Do you want to play Oklahoma?
After Corby Davidson of the Ticket had the nerve today to say how average A&M is, but that's enough to be in the conversation, I guess.
I guess
on Twitter.
As their defense is pitching a dominating shutout. And their quarterback is having a horrible night.
Horrible.
And they're still up 20-0.
He looks so average.
I
would love the opportunity to look so average as we win by 20 points against your beloved Oklahoma. I'm sorry.
And as I said, average can win Marconis these days. So go to hell, Snake Davidson.
Oh, God.
So tired of your trash.
God, such a OU homer. Such a crybaby.
Such an OU homer, TCU graduate. Yeah.
Not a TC graduate.
Oh, didn't quite make it all the way through.
No. He is.
I'm sorry.
I think a UNT graduate.
I should pay homage to the overcusser. I really should. It was his greatest work.
Yeah. Look, I mean, plus we're talking to a UTA graduate over here, sort of.
Dude, you fought like hell through there, through that jungle.
Yeah.
It's like you're in Vietnam.
Yeah. Whoa.
Ugh. Okay, we just got canceled.
We're
canceled. Sorry, guys. Oh, man, the Foreman brother, at least one Foreman brother is online checking out the show. Welcome, Nick, to the show. Happy to have you. We've had a Malloy, a Schlanger. How do you say that? Schlanger? I just want to make – I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Also,
and a
Foreman.
Boy,
Keep
Foreman. But okay. I would keep Abby away from the from the show during our Texas segment.
Oh,
Nick is married to a Longhorn for some reason.
I've met her, and
I'm just kidding,
Abby. About her, and that changes everything.
It's nothing personal.
I had an axe in my hand when I met her. I'm sorry, Nick. I've been drinking. It's okay. Thanks for watching. Next time, maybe you join us. I'm thinking Nick should join us for the Auburn post game.
We have another comment.
Oh, we do have another one. Hard A, Schlanger 88. What does the 88 stand for?
I'm pretty sure that's when he was born.
Oh, kill me right now. Kill me right now. 88? Seriously? Good God. Does that guy even remember an A&M Texas game? Jesus.
No, you want to know something? You want to be pissed off.
Okay.
Because my wife and I watch the women's national soccer team. Every game they play.
This sounds like a tangent.
I just watched yesterday a game in which 2 new players played for the women's national team, both of which were born in the 2000s.
Yeah. Yeah. The 2000s. After we graduated. Well, after I graduated.
Yeah.
Wow.
78 and 81. And some adult that you could have an adult conversation with was born in the 2000s.
That's pretty messed up. Yes.
That's
Yes,
effed
Graham.
up.
Thank you for telling me your age. I can do the math. Good God. I have an aerospace engineering degree. I was 1 class short of a math minor. I can do the arithmetic. But thank you.
Only 1 class?
Just 1 class. But you know what?
Why not?
Dang it, man. No. No.
Because I thought you were like,
The bare minimum. It was get out.
if you graduated
Go
with a
get a
bare
job.
minimum engineering degree,
Yeah.
you were 6 hours. I
6
think,
hours.
short.
But if you were an aerospace engineering degree, you were only 1 class.
Oh,
short.
what did you have to take?
I
that
don't
was
remember.
extra?
It was some
An extra Diffie Q class? Like,
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I don't know. Had to do all those laminar flow analyses. I don't even know what I just said. I have forgotten 95% of what I've
You-
learned.
What? Okay. No. We
95.
have to do this. What is laminar flow?
No, we're not going to do this. This
Yes.
is not what the people want. Whoa. Nick, whoa. We can't. Nick chiming in about his wife. Ha ha. She's talented.
I don't understand that at
Now,
all.
I could give the viewers context with the previous comments, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it open-ended like that. And I'm going to let the other 4 viewers
Oh,
guess on what that means. And we'll just leave it at that because God,
as well.
that's what Lagavulin does. Okay. Ron Swanson approved. Speaking of, I am going to have to buy another bottle of this. I will thank you for going out and acquiring the bottle. I felt it bad luck if I went out and bought Victory Scotch on game day. I don't know. It's just a superstition I had. Hang on. Here we go. Hope you guys are enjoying this. You know, since we do have a few folks on the chat, are there any topics from the Hodges brothers that you would like us to address? I'm actually worried about asking that question because I know the kind of a-holes that are dialed into this chat right now. And I know that the suggestions could be untoward, but I'm willing to talk about whatever you guys would like to talk about. While we're doing that, so we're watching the female kicker for Vanderbilt in practice, knocking field goals. I have to be careful how I talk about this. Sarah Fuller, kicker for Vanderbilt. She just won the SEC championship.
What's to be careful about?
I just have to be careful what I say. It was fantastic. It was a great story. She was going to kick for Vanderbilt today. Okay. I don't think Vanderbilt crossed midfield. So unless she was going to attempt a 70-yard field goal today, it just wasn't going to happen. And I'm actually really disappointed in that. I was actually watching this game, looking for an opportunity to pull it up and watch Sarah Fuller attempt a field goal. And the good thing is she did get to attempt a squib kick.
Yes.
And it was a squib kick. Dude, no, do not be that guy. It was obvious that's what it was. She executed it flawlessly.
Don't accuse me of being that guy because
Better
I did
than
see
most kickers who attempt a squib kick.
I did see a few tweets today basically being like, ha ha ha, all you a-hole dudes making fun of this girl for playing, I don't know, whatever, basically being somehow mad about this or whatever, when I have not seen like a single person who is anything but excited to be like, well, this will be interesting.
Okay, that's fair. Now we just watched the replay of her kicking the squib kick, and it was very obvious. Okay, this look right here. Look the way she kicks that.
Well,
It's a
yes.
squib kick.
She was very clearly not trying to kick it deep
Very clearly, it wasn't an onside.
because she can't, because she's not used to playing football. No. In all honesty, I heard an interview with her soccer coach.
Okay.
Was on with ESPN radio or something the other night before this game, and it was interesting because he said she kicks a soccer ball 50, 60 yards, no problem. To which I said, okay, then her max range with a football is like 40 yards because kicking a football is different and harder as far as a max range goes than kicking a football or a soccer ball.
So whatever. You're saying Sarah Fuller can't kick a football 60 yards?
Not accurately.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
With the kickoff, it doesn't matter, but you need to kick it further than that.
Okay, regardless. Sarah Fuller here. Hey, to Sarah Fuller. And her scoop kick.
No, I was really hoping to see her kick an extra point or a 30-yarder or something like that.
Hang on. I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Okay, tomorrow, if we go get a football, if we go down to Academy and we buy
this will be fun.
I gotta look at it. A regulation football. I'm willing to do this, by the way.
Okay.
And we go up to the high school and we tee that sucker up.
On a tee. You're not gonna hold it.
I'll hold it. I'll hold it.
You'll hold it?
I will.
That's very brave.
I'll hold. We should do this tonight. Because Walmart's still open. We can get a regulation football. They're open 24/7. We could do this, and I will hold it, okay, for the people. How far do you think you could kick that football?
Whoa, through the uprights?
No, just kick the football. How far could you kick that football?
How many chances do I get?
You get one chance.
One chance.
One chance.
One chance in carry. I've got to carry it. Carry or just...
I'll give you the roll, brother. I'll give you the roll. How far?
Well, one chance. The footballs bounce weird. I don't know. Let's say carry.
Footballs bounce weird. Did you know that? Do you watch football? Because I do. And that bounces weird.
Anyway, let's say carry just for the sake. How far? Because those of you watching may or may not know that I play adult indoor soccer with other adults in an adult indoor soccer league. Anyway, I'm going to say, well, hold on. I'm trying to think. How long is this? 40 yards.
40 yards. Okay, that's perfect.
Best case scenario.
That's perfect because I was going to set the over under at 35 yards. And you think it can go past 35 yards without your leg tearing loose from your hip and you being a one-legged post-game show. Nobody watches radio hosts for the rest of your life on crutches taking care of your kids.
Look, could I make an extra point in NCAA Power 5 football? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It's no good.
No good.
It would happen.
You give me.
So this was great because shout out to Ryan Broninger this week.
But how many chances?
Actually, I can't remember if it was Ryan or Dalton Hughes who tweeted out that they 9 out of 10 could make an extra point in this whole Sarah Fuller thing.
Okay,
and I'm like,
it doesn't matter if it's Ryan Broninger or Dalton.
It doesn't
Hughes.
matter.
It doesn't matter because you are both extremely wrong. 9 out of 10.
I want this to happen so bad. And I'm really impressed because there's some other guys on the TexAgs crew that are like, no, we need to make this happen this week.
Yeah, you do need to make that. Because I'm telling you right now, there are Division I football partial scholarship kickers that can't make 9 out of 10.
Well, yeah. No, I agree. And I will say, look, first of all, there is already at least one request to live stream this kicking attempt. An offer to dial 911. and somebody has set the over-under at 20 yards. And I kind of am on their side.
Who has set 20 yards?
20.
Brendan?
Okay, 20 yards. So, look, you could at
Shut
least...
up, Brendan. Dang it.
Or maybe Brendan's saying he could only kick it 20 yards, and I do kind of believe
I don't know, maybe.
Maybe. How far do you... Never mind. Damn it.
20
made a
20
made a
yards.
joke
I would take the over on
that would
myself.
get
easily.
me canceled by PETA and or his spouse. So, Brendan gets that joke
It's
now.
kind of the
I don't even
same
have to
thing.
say it. It is the same thing. It is the same thing. Appreciate you, boys. Okay, so that's enough Sarah Fuller talk. Anything else in the college football landscape that we should be? How about Jim Harbaugh?
Oh, Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh.
Michigan football. The laughing stock of the nation. They lost to Penn State today, by the way. I think they're 0-6.
Whoa, you're getting ahead of yourself.
I am getting
because,
ahead of myself.
Jim Harbaugh was on the quote-unquote hot seat, which his seat is friggin' lava right now, right? Like, that is an
It's an
extremely
old name.
hot seat. It's an old
Good job.
name.
It is. Yep.
The
I'm
floor
with
is
you.
lava. We played floor is lava. Who didn't? But anyway, not since we were like 2 and 6 or whatever our age gap is. Anyway, 5. No, I'm sorry, 5 and 8.
I wasn't listening.
Doesn't matter. The floor is lava. It's a game we all played if you were poor.
We were poor.
We
We had a rough go at things.
Anyway.
Now we have many leather-bound books between us. Okay. Individually, not so much.
Anyway, Jim Harbaugh, whose seat was incredibly hot.
Slam dunk hire.
Slam dunk.
Gonna win a national title.
Is this the one that was good at Stanford?
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the
that
NFL.
one. And in the NFL.
Yeah. Left San Francisco to go to his alma mater. It's exactly what you kind of dream of as a Michigan fan. Okay. You get one of your own who has done amazing things at all levels coming home.
He's been kind of crap the whole time he's been there for the most part. And it's been a real bad season for him. And then today he lost to Penn State, which I know what you're thinking. Penn State.
Yeah.
Penn State, almost a blue blood. Kind of.
Well, compared to A&M.
Compared to A&M, the
Yeah.
lowly Aggies, Penn State is basically the bluest of blue bloods. However, this year Penn State's not won a football game.
Until today. They beat Michigan.
Yep.
So 0-6, I believe now. 0-5? 0-5. Hard.
Michigan?
Yeah.
Against Penn State? Or in general?
They are now 0-6.
No. You're thinking of Penn State was winless. Michigan's probably like 2-4 this year.
Damn it. Damn.
Penn State was 0-5 going into this
Horrible.
game. Michigan was 2-3, and now Michigan is 2-4, and Penn State is 1-5. They have won one football game, and that is against the great blue blood Michigan Wolverines.
Wow. It's almost like there's a complete regional imbalance in college football that has taken hold. Right as A&M bailed and went to the Southeast Conference, and I'm not saying that was because of A&M. I'm not. I'm just saying it happened, and we're in the club, and we're at number 5. Texas sucks, and Michigan sucks, and Penn State sucks, and Nebraska sucks, and USC sucks. They all suck. You know who doesn't suck? We don't suck. Okay? Who's winning?
There is
We're freaking
one
winning.
school whose failure I enjoy more than the University of Texas, and that is the University of Michigan. I don't know why,
Yeah,
but it doesn't
weird.
matter why.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. I kind of grew up a Michigan fan. I really did. I liked watching them on ABC on, the one college game you'd get a week. back in the day, Channel 8. Sometimes I get to watch
Sure.
Michigan.
I'm tired of seeing the Desmond Howard Heisman pose
Yeah.
after he returned a punt for a touchdown,
bag.
as if no defensive backs ever returned a punt for a touchdown ever in the history of college football. Who cares?
It's happened.
It's happened.
You know what? That guy's a tool bag on College Game Day. Speaking of College Game Day, okay, all right, I think that's twice this season that all of the hosts on College Game Day have picked A&M to win the football game. And that's a big deal because that sends off all kinds of battered Aggie syndrome alarm bells. And everybody freaks out because they're like, oh, my God, it's the kiss of death. We're going to lose this football game. And Billy Lucci went off today about this.
Oh, did he? I didn't see that. I have not been on TexAgs today.
TexAgs actually tweeted out that, kind of a, cloudy day. Oh, no, the sky's falling. College Game Day, unanimous pick. Billy went after the TexAgs guys and was like, oh, F no, I'm going to get this taken down. I'm tired of this BS. And in fact, they took the tweet down. They issued a new tweet painting a very sunny picture of, yeah, we got this. It was very funny. It was all funny, okay? But it is true, and it's something we talked about after the South Carolina game. Start believing in the football team.
Sure.
Okay? Start believing in Jimbo in November. Start believing in the fact that Jimbo Fisher's teams get better. Start believing in the fact that we're stacking recruiting classes on top of recruiting classes on top of recruiting class. That we're number 5 in the rankings going into mid-note. Oh, my God. It's almost December. Wow. It's different. It's different.
Yeah.
And it's time for us and you guys online, all 6 of you.
6.
Hey, look, man, it's been a different 6 throughout the evening with some nice average watch time. So I appreciate that.
Sure.
Okay. It's time to start thinking differently. It's time to think about your football team and expect to win going into games.
Sure. And by the way, all of you that have started watching and then stopped watching,
you're smart ones.
You are smart. However, couldn't you just, hit the mute button on your laptop and watch something else on your television? That's all I'm saying. Like, we don't actually care if you watch. Just have your laptop watching.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Anyway, but yeah, exactly. Start believing in this team. And God damn it, I'm so drunk.
Yeah, you're struggling a little bit. It's okay.
I'm on the struggle bus, but
the Joe Namath struggle bus. It's all right. It's perfect. We just beat LSU.
Sure. But
for the second time in 3 years, after going 0-7,
I don't know,
under someone, 0-7,
0-2, even with Johnny effing football.
Yeah. And Jimbo is now won 2 out of 3 against LSU
with Kellen Mond.
Now, the one was anyway. We don't need to.
It was bad.
We don't need to talk about that.
We don't need to talk about it.
Yeah, we don't need to. But I do think that's important, and I think it's a good segue into. Good God, how long have we been doing this? About an hour and a half. Okay, we're an hour and a half. We're 90 minutes in. December 16th. Do you know what? That's not the right date. That's my wife's birthday.
19th.
Actually, that's not my wife's birthday.
Is that
but
when
it
your
is a
kids'
birthday
birthdays?
for somebody in the house. There's multiple birthdays in the month of December. Don't at me. Okay? So, December 16th is not the right date. I think it's December 18th. It's National Signing Day. Okay? A&M has 5 spots open. Can you see this? Can you see my fingers?
I can see it, but I'm looking at it. The camera is not.
5.
Okay.
A&M is in on about 10 different elite players across the country with a recruiter in Jimbo Fisher who closes like no other. Okay. I'll even put him up there with the David Sweeneys and the Nick Sabans when it comes to closing a recruiting class. Things are looking really good. And beating LSU was critical. It was critical. Texas losing was a big deal, right? Some of the other national powers, like Oregon, losing to Oregon State. There's guys that we're in on that are considering Oregon. Not so much Michigan, who gives a you know what. But a lot of those dominoes, it's impossible to underscore how important it was to win this game for National Signing Day. And do not discount the importance. I cannot stand the college football fan who says, oh, recruiting doesn't matter. I'd rather have a coach who can do more with 3-star players, blah, blah. No, you wouldn't, because the stats are overwhelmingly not in your favor. You want the 4 and 5-star guys. You've got to stack top 5 recruiting classes.
But wait.
On top of each other.
Didn't Kevin Sumlin recruit really good recruiting classes?
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. Stop.
So stupid. I'm
So
so
dumb.
glad we stumbled upon this little gem.
Kevin Sumlin had like 1.5.
I'll give you the half.
Give me
This
the
is
half.
the half right here.
Good recruiting classes, and that one, basically, like 2 of those kids actually played football.
2015
for Texas
class. It was a 2015 class that included, I believe, Myles Garrett. I think Myles Garrett was in that class. Because it was a class that finished in the top 5. I think it was like number 5. Maybe
2015? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, maybe. Actually, that's not true. It's not true.
His best class was the year after, like
after Johnny.
Yes, the 2013 recruiting class, I think.
Yeah, it was a top 5 class. Everything from there on out was basically between 10 and 20.
And 20, which is a lot of teams. There's a big difference between a top 5 class and a 10 to 20 class.
It's like this.
It's like this.
This is big.
Texas has raked in a ton of 10 to 20 classes.
Yeah.
Partially due to services overrating their guys because
we could spend a whole segment on
we
that.
could, but let's just say because the recruiting services want to continue to have access to the Texas coaches and all of that, but whatever, still decent classes.
Some of this.
But you can absolutely be a very mediocre team with a top 20 class. University of Texas has certainly proved that. Texas A&M under Kevin Sumlin certainly proved that. Sumlin had one, basically, I think it was like a 2013 class that was top 5, mostly on the strength of some skill position guys. Okay. Jimbo is now on the cusp of having multiple top 10 and some potentially top 5 classes on the strength of having a well-rounded class.
Yes.
Classes with lots of good skill or guys in the trenches, and you're starting to see that pay off.
You build it from the inside out.
From the inside
to the
out.
SEC.
Yeah.
And he's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're starting to see that pay off. I mean, because look at who's winning for A&M. They're freshmen and sophomores. Right? And it's great. We've got a heavy on experience offensive line. Got 4 seniors. That's great. Okay. Their best player on the offensive line is a sophomore.
Kenyon Green.
And there's dudes coming behind him that are of that ilk. And some of the guys that are in on especially in the trenches they're not just good. They're not just 4-star good. They are nationally elite talent. They're the kind of guys that Alabama and Clemson fill their classes out with.
And they're guys, a handful of guys like a Reuben Fathertree that is still, for some reason, criminally underrated.
He's
like a
that's weird,
3-star or
man.
something.
I've watched that film. Dude.
Who's the guy that Cole Kubelik was just losing his mind over after the South Carolina game?
Oh, shoot. Layden Robinson,
who was another 3-star guy that also had film that looked like Reuben Fathertree. We were just sitting there watching his film going, why is this guy only a 3-star? Because he's hurting people.
And it was nasty.
All the time.
Just absolutely mowing dudes down and had that edge. Right? The same edge you saw against South Carolina. Like, not just blocking dudes. Like, I want to bury
Embarrassing
you.
them.
I want to embarrass you. I want to bury you in the dirt kind of mentality, right? And that was all over his high school film. The guy was huge, fast,
strong,
and
hated people.
Yeah, doesn't like people, at least on the football field.
Yeah.
Layden Robinson's a bad dude, and there's some guys like that they continue to recruit that you'll see Jimbo go in early on. Okay, get in on him early because the guy knows talent and his staff knows talent, and then you'll start to see the offers come in later or really late, but they can't get in the door because he's locked them down. And I love to see that. And but there's also some elite guys. There's 5-star guys. There's the can't miss kind of guys that play with that same sort of edge and that's what he's looking for. You can actually see, the
like
type
a Kenyon
of player.
Green.
Like a Kenyon Green.
Killing people.
Yeah, absolutely murdering dudes.
And that's a Bryce Foster type of guy.
So Brendan Malloy chimes in, someone couldn't retain those players. That is absolutely true.
It's a great point because that 2013 class we're thinking, I don't remember. That was his best class from a final ranking standpoint. I swear to God, had like 3 guys actually contribute. Either he lost them due to transfer, or they were busts, or they got hurt,
or arrested,
or couldn't qualify, or arrested.
Had some dudes arrested.
Either way, a lot of those guys from that class never played significant snaps for Texas A&M. And to be fair, a lot of reason they didn't is because when you're Texas A&M and you're Kevin Sumlin, you're taking risks on offering guys that Alabama says not worth wasting a scholarship offer on.
Really good player.
But
there's a flag.
But there's a red flag. There's a good chance he's not going to qualify, or something is going to keep him from actually playing for us. It's not worth using a scholarship on. When you only have 85 and only 25 in a recruiting cycle.
Yes. Sidebar, that's how Tom Herman's made his living. It is. That's the truth. I'm not going to go there. I did, but I'm not. Anyway. Yeah.
You already did.
I did. But anyway, mid-December, signing day, 5 spots. Too many guys we're going after. All I'm telling you is we are going to end up with one hell of a recruiting class. And then looking forward to the next class, which is the 2022 class, is one of the most loaded recruiting classes in the state of Texas in a long, long time. Like, you could trip over a rock, roll down a hill, end up in a canyon, and end up with a very good recruiting class in the state of Texas. So it's going to be very interesting to see how A&M does, and Coach Fisher, what their strategy is. But man, being in the position they're in does not hurt. So looking forward to seeing how that goes. And that's all. I don't want to talk about recruiting any more than that.
Okay.
Oh, see, so I hadn't brought up this name. Okay. Our boys are talking in the chat. Does Jimbo have a helicopter? But then the second comment is, was Speedy Noyle in that class? I don't think so.
No,
I think he was in a follow-on class. He was a 5-star recruit out of Louisiana that flipped to A&M at the Under Armour game and turned out to be one of the biggest busts in A&M history. Just not, first of all, couldn't stay on the field, was always in trouble. I think he really liked marijuana a lot. I think he liked marijuana. And then when he was on the field, was not good.
No, he wasn't.
It's not good. That was a very high-profile recruit that did play a lot for A&M. Man, one of the most famous games I remember Speedy Noyle in was the 1939 throwback uniform games with Kyle Allen at quarterback and a couple of deep shots to Speedy Noyle. And I think he made one catch, but it just never amounted to anything. That was one of his first games back.
I don't know.
Here's why I remember it being a first game back, because he started after missing several games due to suspension. And that's when I knew that's when I knew things were really going to go to hell under
Yeah.
Kevin Sumlin. Like, that was the final nail in the coffin. Like, this dude chose marijuana over a football team, missed several games, and when he comes back, you're going to start him immediately.
After he's not done a damn
Hadn't
thing.
done anything.
Yeah. That's a weird one, too, because, frankly, Matty Bohawk, who is a good Aggie Twitter follow, who's not watching, but knows X's and O's. I think when Speedy was here, was adamant that Speedy was working hard to get open. Matty Bohawk's got access to some film I don't have because I saw a dude quit on so many routes. Not fight for footballs. It was just the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And yeah, gets suspended multiple times.
Yeah.
For what we're pretty sure is marijuana.
It was marijuana.
But yeah. And to be honest, you know who, from a recruitment and hype standpoint, I thought this feels a lot like Speedy Noyle.
Give me a hint. What position?
You know, running back, receiver, quarterback, just like Speedy did a lot.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going after one individual in particular. Lay it on me. Who are you talking about?
Devon Ache.
Oh, you mean as far as the type of player?
The type of player and the hype and and what he did in high school.
Yeah.
Right. Because and frankly, I would sit and watch Devon Ache's film and be like, I don't really get it. Kind of, as far as the 5-star hype, it'd be like, and some of that is just being like, well, I don't know. It kind of looks like he's playing against crap opponents.
Yeah.
I don't know. And what we've seen so far is that Devon Ache is, picking up blitzes, which is the dirty work that you've got to do if you want to get playing time in this offense under this coach. So awesome. And also, looking good in the carries he's got. Not looking like a guy that just, I'm so much better than everybody else here athletically that I can just run for 80 yards whenever I want. Which is kind of what it felt like watching Devon Ache's, his film. I was just like,
he's so much better than everybody else. Athlete. He's such a better athlete that you don't really know.
It's like too easy. I don't understand it.
I didn't quite. So the guy that's the poster child for what you just described for me was Jonathan Gray, who was a 5-star number 1 running back kind of in the nation out of Aledo. Ended up going to UT. And I actually watched Jonathan Gray play live. I actually went up and watched him in high school play a football game. And I've watched all the highlights. This dude, you watch highlights, you see touchdowns, right? That's what highlights are. They're all the big plays.
Yeah.
When I watched him in person, what I saw was a guy who, in space, was untouchable, was going to score. But the instant somebody put a hand on him, went to the ground.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't believe it. Because I didn't go to the game expecting that. I went to the game expecting the highlight reel.
Yeah.
And what I saw was one dude get an arm on him. He goes to the ground.
And you're not exaggerating.
I'm not.
Because actually, and this is what was so surprising about Jonathan Gray's film as a 5-star recruit committed to Texas, was that you said a hand, and you're not kidding.
I'm not kidding.
One hand on his foot, and that dude was down.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was either scoring or he was down with one hand touching him. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah. And so I went into that game saying, I cannot wait to watch Jonathan Gray play.
Yeah.
And leaving that game going, I don't want anything to do with that guy. Yeah. I don't. Because when you get to college, dudes get hands on you. Can you
in
run
the backfield
all
the time?
And so it was not shocking to me at all when Jonathan Gray got to Texas and really didn't do anything.
No.
Even in a league where running in space
is the thing.
And that's why he went to Texas.
And that is, I mean, I found it fascinating. Jason Howell at TexAgs.com used to work for Rivals.
Yes.
And Bobby Burton, who has run that entire
Oh
recruiting
I know this
strategy,
story.
right?
Yes.
Talking about Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson, Palestine, Texas.
The guy who everybody who saw him run knew was going to be an NFL Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's what he looked like in high school.
He looked like. You were like, that guy's an NFL Hall of Famer.
Yes.
All the time.
Because his team
was trash.
Awful.
Awful.
Like the ball would be snapped and there would be 5 dudes in the backfield against Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
And what happened?
Touchdown.
Freaking unbelievable. I watched one highlight film of Adrian Peterson, and I instant was like, we have to have that guy.
Yeah.
That is what it looks like. He looked like Eric Dickerson to me.
Yeah.
In his prime.
Yeah.
Okay. To say that about a high school kid is unbelievable. And I don't know. I'm just some idiot on the internet.
Sure.
But I don't know. I honestly feel like I can pick out talent. That I can pick out what it's
that
supposed
kind
to
of
look
talent.
like.
And to be fair, so if you don't know, Bobby Burton's a guy that runs, or back when recruiting services were blowing up, was running Rivals.
Yes.
And went to go watch Adrian Peterson and basically threatened an underling who now works for TexAgs that he was going to drop Adrian Peterson from a 4-star to a 3-star.
Yes, Adrian Peterson,
based on him not doing so well in the first half.
Yeah.
Against a team that was basically sending 11 guys to Adrian Peterson. You're like, this team sucks. But they have this guy who's awesome named Adrian Peterson. We're going to send all 11 guys to try and tackle him. And he didn't do so well. Didn't do well.
So this guy leaves.
Then he leaves.
It's like, I've seen enough.
He runs the biggest recruiting site in the state, which basically means kind of in the nation, right?
At the time.
He says, I'm leaving. This Adrian Peterson kid sucks. And I'm going to drop him to a 3-star. One of his underlings stays to watch the second half, in which case the opposing team still says the entire team sucks except for Adrian Peterson. We're going to send all 11 guys at him. And then Adrian Peterson, under those circumstances, still goes off.
200 yards.
For 200 yards and a half.
Yes.
And
wins
several touchdowns and wins the game.
I've never seen anything like Adrian Peterson in high school.
And
at
this point, the rumors of Bobby Burton overrating Texas commitments or targets.
Yes.
Basically, guys who are still considering Texas, everyone's kind of looking around going, I think this Bobby Burton guy who runs Rivals, the biggest recruiting service in the state, kind of overrates guys that are considering Texas.
That was the start, and it has never stopped.
Yeah. Basically, he was ready to drop Adrian Peterson to a 3-star, and one guy who worked for him said, you're going to look like an idiot if you do that. Because I actually stayed to watch the rest of the game. He's freaking awesome. It was 1 against 11, and he ran
and
up.
He won.
He won 1 against 11. You're going to look like a moron. Don't do anything to your ranking. And eventually, he said, okay, I'm not going to do anything.
Adrian freaking
Peterson.
We really thought we were getting him. Fran was this close to stealing him from Oklahoma. He really was. Talk to the guys who know that recruitment. It was that close.
Well, yeah. I mean,
but
the guys that know that recruitment are insistent that RC was going to get
Well, that's true. No, you're right.
Yeah, in that
That's a whole nother
RC
story.
with Kevin Sumlin recruiting him
Yes.
Okay.
As offensive coordinator.
as offensive coordinator at A&M, was going to get Adrian Peterson, and RC's fired, and Fran still almost got him.
Yep.
But he went to Oklahoma, and the rest is history.
He was pretty good there.
He was pretty damn good.
He's still playing.
Still playing.
He's 35 years old, and he was playing this weekend for the Vikings.
Oh my god!
What the hell? Like that, I will never
With the
forget.
knees of like a 60-year-old.
I'll never forget watching grainy 4.3 footage of Adrian Peterson in high school and going, "Oh my god, that's what Eric Dickerson looked like in high school."
Yeah.
It had to be. And Jonathan Gray sucked. So I'm just telling you, I kind of have an eye for talent. That's all I'm going to say.
Sure.
I probably doing the wrong job, to be honest. That's okay. I'll still go to work on Monday. Oh, God, I got to go to work on Monday. Freaking punch me in the face.
Speak for yourself. I bought some Powerball tickets, so we'll find out later. I don't know.
Okay. Well, can I just be in your posse? You need a posse, man.
I do need a posse.
Okay. Speaking of, this is great. All right. Because we've actually been going at this for over 2 hours and 2 minutes now.
Please text eggs. Have
All
you
right.
posted
My
a
wife
post
is
game?
praying that we stop soon so she can drive you home. But speaking of posse, okay, our boy Johnny Manziel jumped on a podcast this week. Have you listened to that?
Only some clips here and there.
Johnny, I listened to the full Johnny podcast with this guy. I don't know who this dude is.
No clue. Who
No
this
guy. I think
is.
he's a musician. He's a musician.
I don't know, but he's known
He's
in
known.
the podcast universe.
Yes. And he appears to be really good friends with Johnny. Okay. And Johnny Foosball talked a lot about things in life and things he's learned. And man, it just made me sad. Like the whole damn thing made me sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because talking about all these things he's, realized, blah, blah, blah. And, the NFL didn't work out. And, I really feel like I've let my teammates down. They were disappointed in me. And, but I've come to grips with all that. And, man, I just couldn't help but listen to it and be like, yeah, you were given something and you just kind of went, and the worst part is like you're really okay with that.
Well, he doesn't have any choice but to be okay with it now.
Yeah, maybe you're right, but he was really okay with it at the time too. And that, and talking about the greatest moment for him in his life was meeting this dude, this rap star. And I'm like, no, that was the worst moment in your life, and you still don't realize it. And that bummed me out.
Yeah.
I was really bummed. And yes, Adrian Peterson plays for the Lions. I'm getting that from the chat.
That's what you told me.
I said
days
Vikings.
Ago.
Was it because they were playing the Vikings? And
No,
I
you
was
said
watching the
Lions.
game on Thanksgiving.
You think
You were
Vikings
here.
because you're drunk.
I am. And it was, yes, Adrian Peterson plays for the Lions.
Because you text me, you were like, did you know that Adrian Peterson still plays football?
Because
That was during the
and
Lions
it was the Lions game was on.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brendan. God, this is why we have live chat. This is important. I appreciate you hanging on 2 hours into this. My God, you have no life, Brendan. And I love you for it.
Wow.
Wait a second. We're the ones sitting here. What does that say?
That's a great point.
That's a good point. I retract my previous statement, Brendan.
Well, but we have fans.
Okay.
6 of them.
But anyway, I was really sad for Johnny because I think there's a long ways to go there. I think there's a long ways to go. Thinks he's kind of figured some things out, and all I could think of was no.
Not all of
But God dang it, man. I will watch Johnny football highlights any day of the week. And thank you for coming to Texas A&M, even if it was for a girl, which is what we kind of found out on the podcast. I don't think you heard that.
I didn't hear that.
Followed a girl to A&M. Man, need to meet this young lady and shake her hand because it was pretty awesome. that he came to A&M and did what he did. Even if, the NFL didn't work out, who gives a blank? In 40 years, nobody will remember that. They're just going to keep on remembering all the things you did for us. Made that transition to the SEC not so brutal, and it could have been. It absolutely could have been.
Yeah, we got a glimpse of that after you left.
Yeah, we did. Post South Carolina, the year after you left, everything went to hell in a handbasket in a row of bushes on North Cape. So anyway, good stuff. I'm not lying. Anyway, it's Jimbo now, and things are different. That's all we need to remember. And I think this is a good time to stop what we're doing, let everybody off the hook. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We will be back next week when we beat the hell out of Auburn. And we're done.
I can't see straight.
Perfect.
Bye.